Welcome to In Focus with Eden Lane.
Later we'll meet Colorado photographer and artist Iman Woods. She uses the art of the pinup to empower the women who are her models and clients. But we begin with Ballet Nouveau Colorado to learn about a special event supporting their educational and community outreach programs and their next concert. From School Director Julia Wilkinson Manley and Associate Artistic Director Dawn Fay. I'm so delighted that you came in today to help me share the news about this year's Dance from the Heart and the Valentine's concert. So we have double duty that we're doing today. That's why we have the two of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for having us.
Because Dance from the Heart is something we have never talked about on the show before, I want to talk about that first. And that's a long-standing program here that supports really important programming at Ballet Nouveau Colorado. So tell me about the programming it supports first.
Well, you know, Ballet Nouveau Colorado has an extensive community program that involves reaching over 20,000 individuals each year. We give free tickets to shows, but we also have an extensive community education segment of our programming that goes out into public schools, taking lecture demonstrations, as well as really involved and extremely helpful residencies and partnerships that we have with 4 Title I elementary schools.
And these programs reinforce the education that the schools are doing. These are not recruitment efforts for your ballet school.
You're exactly right. So we work hand in hand with the faculty and administration at each of our 4 Title I elementary schools, and we work to identify the struggles that those kids are having so that we can reinforce those through dance. So, for instance, we recently did an insect project with a school in Commerce City called Monaco Elementary. Mm-hmm. And these were second graders. They don't have a science curriculum in that district. And so the principal asked us to work on science curriculum. In that particular school, they have a great music teacher because kids in Commerce City, actually the community in Commerce City, is really had to hold tight to their arts background. They love the arts in Commerce City.
So they understand its impact on the whole education as well already.
Exactly. So it was a really incredible program.
So you did an insect section for them.
We did. We worked on the anatomy and the life cycle of the insects, and then we got it into their body so that they had to learn it kinesthetically, and they got to do a performance for their entire school and for their parents in the evening. So it was awesome.
So you also do some social components for students, some anti-bullying programs. Tell me about that.
Yeah, you might have heard of our Ugly Duckling anti-bullying program that we did for 5 seasons. And in keeping with that expertise that we gained in that program, we've actually developed a new program this year called Madeline Stands Tall. And so we're taking Madeline into elementary schools with the student company performing, and they're going to teach kids how to stand tall and be a great community. So it's a beautiful, beautiful ballet.
So not just anti-bullying, but something empowering to the young women in those classes.
Exactly.
What does it feel like as an artist to have come here, and you and your husband have been here for several seasons now, and the whole company was one of Dance Magazine's 25 to watch and all of that glamour, but to know that the work you're doing is so vital in reaching young students in the public school system here. What does that feel like to you as an artist?
Part of that, when we go out into these schools and when we take the company, we do a thing that is called the Young Person's Guide to Dance. And Garrett actually created this ballet, which in and of itself is quite rare for an artistic director to actually create a ballet for community education. So that part of it was very exciting. But Julie and I both narrate the 45-minute to 50-minute presentation that we do for these kids. And I think the thing for me that really is so moving and sometimes will bring me to tears is to see the way the kids and the teachers, like, they come alive. And it feels like they have been asleep for a long time, and then we do this for them and we end it and there's all this energy around it, and you feel like you've woken up an entire room of 500 people, and they really like, they come alive. And that is emotionally really incredible to feel that.
And schools aren't having to go through the trouble and expense of transporting their students to come to your program.
Exactly.
You go to them.
Exactly.
For free.
Yeah.
For free. And that brings us to Dance from the Heart. That's one of the ways, one of the most important ways you're able to continue to do that. So tell us what's Dance from the Heart in its basic description, and then what's special for this year.
Basic description, it is Friday, January 27th, and it is an early morning breakfast. We had some thoughts around why to do it on a Friday morning breakfast in January.
Because it used to be a luncheon, right?
It was a luncheon, and it was in a ballroom, and there were a lot of expenses associated with it. So in the end, the amount of funding that we were actually taking away from the event was not as much as we thought as once you take out all the expenses. So but the other reason behind it was we've decided to do it in one of the schools where these programs actually take place. Because we feel that it's very important for people to drive there and park there and feel what this is, and so
maybe even see some students in the building.
Exactly. And so this year we're actually doing it at Pinnacle Charter School, which is also the performing arts complex at PCS where we perform, but we also do after-school ballet programs for the Pinnacle kids as well. So it's kind of almost trifold in the venue selection, but we also wanted to do it as a breakfast, because that way if people want to go to work after, they can. If they want to go skiing, great too. So either way works. And so it's about an hour and a half of a person's time to come to this event and learn about all of these programs and why they matter. And for 90 minutes, you can change these kids' lives.
Because we've only barely touched what this program really is in this description.
Yes.
So we can learn in detail what you're doing, what schools you're working with, how it is implemented. But how does it raise money for you at this breakfast?
Well, the breakfast is free. All of the food and the coffee and everything is completely donated. So we're not spending, I think we're spending $50 in entirety to put this event on. We have some of our scholarship students and actually the roly-polies from Commerce City, from Monaco Elementary, are going to come and perform. So it is, we're hoping to raise a good amount of money just by people giving what they can.
So there's not a cost to come and learn, but there is an ask for what you're able to do to support the program. I think that's a brilliant way to do it, because it's not only fiscally responsible in terms of your outlay to support the event, but it means that even if I know I can't write a $10,000 check, wouldn't that be nice? I can still come. I can learn about Ballet Nouveau Colorado's programs.
Well, and your donation is going to matter.
All of it.
All of it.
Every penny.
Every penny is going to matter.
I think that's a brilliant evolution of Dance from the Heart. And speaking of evolution, your Valentine's program is a tradition at Ballet Nouveau, and this year there's something new again for Valentine's. So tell me about that.
Yes, this year it is called Love in the Digital Age, and it is an exploration of love in all facets. The digital component, I think Garrett Ammon, the artistic director, is going to be choreographing a full length. So it's 2 acts. It'll be the entire evening. He's working with a video digital artist named Christopher Collins, who is really wonderful and fabulous. Cool. So there's going to be a lot of that brought into it. It kind of evolved out of the discussions we were having with some other friends that we have about how love is very different these days, and how people actually fall in love is very different, and not that that's going to be commented on specifically and blatantly in any way, but there are some implications. The other thing,
spark some ideas.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is that Garrett decided to source the entire ballet through free music online. So he's gone to sites such as SoundCloud and freemusicarchive.com, and also pulling imagery from Flickr and anyone that's got a Creative Commons license out there. But as it is Garrett Ammon, he is still also asking for permission, and he's already sent some video footage to all of the groups that he's worked with, like as far as selecting a song. And one of the groups in Spain is actually called the Freak Fandango Orchestra, and they are over the moon. I mean, they cannot believe this is happening. They are so excited. They're gonna like put it everywhere in Spain, and just, you know, so the big thing about this is that we are reaching people on a global level, and we are able to collaborate with people on a global level, and we're able to bring something into their lives that they never could have imagined that would be possible. And so it's taking not only what we're doing as artists over here in Broomfield and in the Denver area, but we're also touching people who are in Ibiza, you know, so it's fascinating to watch this culminating. And the choreography that he's done so far is absolutely extraordinary. A little bit of a space cowboy kind of reference in some of it. So it's all over the place. The genres of music are all over the place. He's got some trip hop, he's got classical, he's got folk, he's got blues, he's got everything.
It's interesting we're talking about this one is called Love in the Digital Age, because this company is also all about love, which is one of the reasons you have that education program. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Edie.
Thank you so much.
You can learn more about Ballet Nouveau Colorado's educational and community outreach programs and find your way to support these efforts. Just attend Dance from the Heart. And you can also find out more about their latest production, Love in the Digital Age. Just visit their webpage at bncdance.com for details. Colorado photographer and artist Iman Woods uses the art of the pinup as a way to empower her clients and models. She helps them express their beauty and capture it in an iconic image. Tonight we not only meet the artist, but some of her models to describe the experience. Thank you, ladies, very much for coming here this afternoon. I guess the first thing I want to find out is, how did you all find out about Iman?
Facebook.
You found her on Facebook?
Yes, I did.
Were you searching for a photographer?
A friend of mine actually had taken some pictures with her, and I saw them. She posted them, and so I asked her right away who the photographer was, and then she connected us, and I friended her, and
we hit it off.
Yeah.
So it was a social media referral kind of thing.
Yes.
And how did you find her?
Oh, I've always wanted to do pinup photography or have my photos done. But in Denver, there's always just been male photographers, and a lot of their photos have been really sexualized, I guess. And the way Iman captures the women in her photos, like, I became a big fan of hers.
How did you find her the first time?
I just Googled pinup photography, and she was the second one on there, and I actually fell in love with her, and she was pregnant at the time. So I kind of just hung out, waited for her to come back from maternity leave, and as soon as she was back, I was like, I would like to do photos with you. And that's how I met her.
So again, another social media, sort of internet kind of connection. Is that also how you found her?
Yeah, I actually had done some research online for about 6 months. I was looking at a whole bunch of different photographers, and I came across her website, and just, it blew me away. It was exactly what I was looking for.
So that kind of social media connectivity has been really important to you growing your work.
It has, and in a surprising way. A lot of photographers are working really hard to try and get that kind of thing to happen, and for me, it just happened because I think what I'm providing is more than photographs. It's an experience, and in some cases, maybe life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
We hope it has a lasting effect. So it's grown like wildfire, surprisingly.
You said that you were interested in having boudoir or pinup photography done. What made you want to have that done?
I always had low self-esteem growing up.
Really?
Yeah. My family wasn't too supportive, so I found the pinup lifestyle or rockabilly lifestyle, and it was all these women that was so strong and confident and beautiful in every body shape. And seeing Iman's photos and how she can capture beauty and inner beauty even with all these women, I wanted to be one of those women in her photos. So I made it a goal to seek her out.
How did it feel when you saw your photos?
Oh my gosh, I think I giggled and cried and then giggled some more. It was amazing, and we made it a date night with my husband and I, and it just to see him see what she saw in the photos, I think I will remember for the rest of my life.
Now, you said you saw her because someone else had photos. Had you had an interest in having pinup photography done, or did you just like those photos?
I just like those photos, I think.
What
And
was
then
it?
when I got to, I started looking at her website and got to know her a little bit. It's just something, I don't know that I always wanted to do it, but it was something I felt like it was just time to do. I can't quite explain it.
How did it feel when you finally picked up the phone to talk to her?
Well, she's really warm. And so, you know, I came over and we went through the studio and we talked about different things. She asked me all these questions about what I liked and what I didn't like about myself or what my husband liked. And so it was just really warm. But when I came to take my pictures, I was so afraid.
You were?
At first, I was so nervous. And but once we started, it was so much fun. We had such a great time. And I think we went longer than we should have just because we didn't realize what time it was. And we had a blast.
I can see in this environment here, it is not just warm and safe, but there's so many nooks and crannies of inspiration all over. I can see how it would end up taking much more time than you'd planned.
It's really hard to stop. I mean, you get into this zone and it takes people a little while to warm up. But once they warm up, you get some awesome pictures.
So what was it about pinup photography that made you seek her out?
Well, actually, my husband is a big pinup art lover, and so it was a gift for him.
Oh.
Yeah, so for his birthday, it was actually a little bit late, but it was intended for his birthday. But it kind of became more about...
That speaks to what you were talking about. It can be so personal and so important and life-changing. If it's okay, can you tell me a little bit more about what it became for you in addition to being a gift between a wife and her husband?
I had a lot of issues with trying to get pregnant, and it never happened for us, and so it kind of took away my feeling of being a woman. And I didn't know I was missing it until I came here and I looked beautiful, and I was surprised at how Iman captured me on film and made me feel like I should feel all the time.
It's a beautiful thing to see how art can move us, and then when you're participating in the art, how much deeper that connection can be.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I always take a peek at myself now on the on the wall,
That's what you're supposed to do.
whenever I feel a little kind of gloomy or down, or I want to kick myself because I didn't do something right, I just kind of go and look at my pictures. And
you made a nice, attractive display out of some of your pictures.
My husband called it the Wall of Fame, so...
Every woman needs a wall of fame.
I think you're right.
Every woman does.
I think everybody needs that sort of touchstone to feel connected to themselves and their environment and to the art that's available to them in the world. So tell me about your favorite photos that came from that session.
It's kind of hard to pick a favorite, but I was really nervous. I brought these little black undies that were lacy, and I was really nervous about putting them on. I told Iman, I said, I don't think I'm ready for this. But she
You must have been, otherwise you wouldn't have brought them.
Well, I purchased them when I made the appointment, and I was hoping that I would have lost some weight before, but life happens, whatever. Iman found me beautiful and captured my beauty at this weight, so I can see that now. I didn't need to lose 50 pounds to find myself beautiful.
We
But
can't wait for life.
Yeah.
Life is here now.
And
that's kind of part of the point of your work, isn't it?
That's the point of my life. I think that's my lesson to learn. I've had my own weight struggles, and
it could be weight, it could be any number of issues
Yeah.
that especially women in Western culture face.
especially.
So we didn't get to find out what your favorite photos were.
So it's in the boudoir, and I'm laying on my belly, and it just captures me. I'm giggling, I'm laying on my belly with my hands up and my legs up. On my hands and my legs are up, and I'm just laughing. And it's me. It's sexy, it's funny, it's flirty, and I'm having fun, and I'm happy.
Did it surprise you to learn all those things about you?
Yeah, it was really weird. I don't know what I looked like when I saw those pictures, but I felt like
She giggled.
Really? That's me?
She giggled the entire premiere. She giggled. So did Joe. That's so cute.
When you say premiere, what do you mean by that?
After the photo shoot, before you see the pictures, I prepare a movie. And you come down here, and on the big screen, we show it to you. A lot of couples make it a date night. And it's your big premiere. And that's when you first see your images. And she giggled the entire time.
And I couldn't believe it was me. And I was like, my eyes are really that blue? And
yeah.
My butt doesn't look really like I thought it would look. Did you tell them about the rule?
We have a studio rule. While you're in the studio, you're not allowed to say anything negative about yourself.
I think that rule should apply everywhere,
It
not
should,
just
but it
in
doesn't.
here.
But it doesn't. But once you practice it, imagine if you spend 2 to 4 hours saying only nice things about yourself, how better you'd feel about yourself at the end of the day. So that's our studio rule, and somebody was treading very close to breaking it.
And she catches you every time. She's caught me many times.
What did you think of your photos? Is there a photo or a series of photos that came out of that session that made you feel particularly wonderful?
Yes, obviously. And when I did my premiere, I think my jaw was hanging down. I couldn't believe it. And
did your husband come with you, or did you come alone?
he came, and I was nervous because I hadn't seen the photos, and I was afraid what is she going to put up there? But obviously, she picked the best ones, and she takes a lot of photos, and then she picks the ones that she thinks bring out your personality and what you're looking for. And so I had some with some red cupcakes. And I like those because they're really innocent and flirty, and I'm laughing in some of them. I'm kind of looking away, so I look sort of mischievous, and I don't know. I just love those. And then the other photo I really like, which I didn't want to talk about, was where I'm lying on the bed and I'm wearing black fishnets and a black corset, and that's just not me almost. And so that's why I really like it, because it's just not it's not something I would ever put on usually. So it was it was me, but it wasn't. And
there's something in there that's you.
I would say in that moment, the reason that shot works and that it's just like Rachel's, where it's you, but it's you embodied in all of these things. Your inner Victoria's Secret came out. And it was like you were posing for the catalog. You were totally confident. You were looking at the camera. It was wonderful. And that's what happened.
So what came from your photo session that you want to share with?
Oh, goodness. I would have to say my favorite is the one with me sitting in an apron that my mother had made for me. And I'm holding cherries. It's my favoriteest one. Growing up, I've always been said that you're the cute one, you're the little petite girl, and I've always wanted to be like the tigress. And in that photo, I was a bombshell, and that was just like, I've never had that before. And to have it frozen and going to be framed, it's going to be pretty amazing. So,
well, it sounds like it was a really fun and sort of delightful experience for you. Someone who is coming to you and saying, I thought about doing this, but I could never. That's just not me. What would you say to them about coming to Iman for this kind of work?
She makes it easy because she already sees that beauty inside of you. I'm gonna cry again.
It's okay.
And she brings it out. I mean, you don't have to do much. She just tells you, and she showed, along the way, she showed me some pictures, I think to kind of alleviate some of that fear that, oh God, what are they going to look like? But she already sees it in you before you step in front of the camera.
And then you get to take it with you when you leave. What would be the counsel that you would give someone who asks you about coming to do this?
Iman. It's not even, I mean, the work is wonderful. The work is beautiful, but it's her personality and what she can bring out in you. And, I mean, she feels like a sister to me. And I met her because I wanted to have photos taken, so I'm going to cry too.
Do you concur with that advice? Would you want to add anything?
No, I agree with both of these ladies. She brings a sisterhood to the photos, and you become her family, and it's more than just photos after you've done a session with her. and that's what I walk away from every time.
But it's not just her, it's all of us, you know? Like you said, I mean, I didn't know them before Iman, and we can dress up like roller derby girls now and hang out.
Yeah. I think that the positive things that I talk about is what everyone wants to believe, and it's contagious, just like negativity is contagious.
That's true.
And I think that that's what happens. You get in this space. I think the things that I say and believe are what everyone wants to believe about feeling beautiful and wearing your skin and being proud of it. And just as negativity is contagious, so is positivity. And I think that you have these beautiful, amazing women. They immerse themselves in the process. And if they didn't take it seriously and didn't want it to work, it wouldn't. It's not just me. And then what happens is it's contagious. Then they go home and they see a girlfriend and they tell a girlfriend how beautiful she is. And it's something that needs to happen. We all need it. We need this way more than we need all of the negative stuff that we hear.
Even just viewing your work and meeting the women who trust you to include them in your work, I can feel it. So whether a resolution kept to lose weight or be more empowered, or as a Valentine present, you can visit her website for more information, imanwoods.com.
That's all for this edition. Remember to join us on Facebook and Twitter. With all that Colorado has to offer, we're here to help you keep it in focus. Thanks for watching. Good night.